I found it. My dog's gonna start attacking me. You might have to turn off your camera and then turn it back off,
Oh, you're good.
because it's like loading.
Um, oh, I'll put up a photo too. We can both do this. Let me see here. Um, I was gonna tell you, or ask you on that live, but it was like too many people. Where do you stand on like gender affirming care, like meaning like medical transitioning for children?
I normally don't get into it too much because I don't want to distort it. But like, I'm uh like okay with the medical standards, like the medical consensus. Like nothing that I've
What do you
seen
mean
about
by
the
that?
medical consensus I'm against, but I don't know enough to really go too deep into it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's like one of my like favorite topics to kind of um debate just because I'm like explicitly against it. I think it's child abuse.
Yeah, I
I was
mean,
just wondering.
yeah, I don't. Um, so Carly, um, so reducing abortions is important to you, right?
Yeah, but like I mean like since now that we're like kind of on like one-on-one and we can like more just like get into the whole argument, like I'm just curious, like do you have any exceptions for or like do you believe abortion should be legal all 9 months of
Um,
the pregnancy?
yeah, I
Like
mean,
pro-choice all the way?
I don't think that the government should be in it. Like, I think the medical standards are great. Like, I don't think that we need to go vary from the medical consensus on standard. Like, basically, like
Oh, somebody was saying that
Canada
we're
doesn't have
breaking
any
up.
laws, right? What?
Hold on. Somebody's saying that we were breaking up pretty bad. May you please repeat what you said? Um, I was just saying that also B Mama, if your comments are turned off, like leave the live and come back in. But I was asking the host here if he believes that like abortion should be legal all 9 months of the pregnancy, or if he would have any like limitations or like um lines that he would draw.
Yeah,
So
and I think that the medical consensus is fine. I think that uh I don't see anything wrong with the medical consensus on it. And like for instance,
what would you
uh
like what do you say what is the medical consensus on it?
viability. I mean, after viability, there's different, but they don't, want the government like imposing laws to restrict
Why
them.
would you not advocate for at least there being an abortion ban past viability?
Because because basically we have like Canada, right? They have no abortion laws and they follow
But
the
we're not
same
talking about
consensus.
Canada right now. We're talking about the
No, but
United States.
I'm explaining to you that like basically in other countries, they follow the same medical consensus of when abortion is acceptable and when it's not. And there's a lot of situations where I would like the woman to be able to decide with her doctor and her threshold of uh, when it would be appropriate. Like I think her threshold is very important in this.
Yeah, so I mean, I would just like if a lot of like pro-life people would even say that like past viability, they would just advocate for like the delivery of the child, like induced delivery instead of.
Yeah. I mean that's what it is though, right? Like because like basically that's the thing. Like you
So
have like when I
yeah, so
use
I'm
the term,
wondering,
listen,
hold on though. I'm wondering, would you advocate to not um abort the child, so like to not end the life of the fetus past
well,
viability?
just to be clear, like when I'm referring to abortion, we're referring to aborting the pregnancy, right? We're not referring
No, like
to.
for the purpose of this discussion, I would say that we should refer to abortion as like and like intentionally ending not only the pregnancy but the life of the fetus.
Okay, then because like
Because that's
after
what
viability, but like
because wait, hold on.
but
That's what we're looking at in terms of law. That's what we're
I'm fine.
meaning by abortion.
Carly, I'm fine with that. But after viability, I want to make this clear because if it's viable, they're like so. First off, if it's if it's before it's viable, then absolutely it will, right? But after the
Wait,
viability,
what? Absolutely, it
that
will.
doesn't mean that. So like basically the term abortion is just referring to aborting the pregnancy. If the fetus is not viable, then it will terminate the life of the fetus,
No, no,
right?
no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
denying that.
I'm saying, I think like we're like, because obviously we're not going to be able to have a productive conversation if we both can't agree on what we're referring to as abortion. I'm referring to abortion as what we would like look at it legally as intentionally ending not only the pregnancy but the life of the baby, the fetus.
Yeah,
So,
before,
like,
but Carly, after viability, if it's viable, right, and they abort it, it's not going to pass away. I want to make that
no, because
clear.
do you understand that the process of abortion is unaliving the child
Okay,
99% of the time?
Carly,
Like,
that's because
no, no,
most
no.
of them happen, but most of them happen um in the very early weeks, right? Like so, like
Yeah, like
basically,
the only way an abortion procedure is going to like
because in
I,
the
I don't
first
get what
trimester, that's not viable, so that's why. Like,
no, hold on. But like late term abortions still happen where I believe it's called like a DNC or something like that. I might be mixing the words up. But where
no,
they
DNC
or a
is
DNE or
not late
whatever.
term. DNE is later on, but like it's not but like that's just those are just the methods of aborting, right? Like a DNC
Yeah,
is
but
going
so
to be for like
what are you saying like if they're viable, they'll survive that? Like nobody's going to survive being dismembered and like their
okay,
skull crushed.
Carly, a DNC, it's just referring to scraping the uterus wall. Like they're scraping off the
That's
uterus
not
wall.
necessarily true. You're oversimplifying the
Carly,
procedure.
Carly, yes,
Go ahead
I
and
am,
explain. What's a
but like
DNC to me?
it's when they're scraping the wall and then they vacuum it out, right? They put like
That's
I
all
think
they
it's
do.
like a quarter-inch tube, and that's generally speaking, that's what they are. And so like that's when it's very early on. Uh, so like that's not what you're talking about. Like after viability, they're not going to be doing a DNC.
Yeah, so like that's not necessarily like what the process is.
I mean, you can say that it's not. I mean, if you want to elaborate.
Yeah, wait, can you like go into what you believe like all the processes like would entail of abortion? Just so we can clarify how you stand.
Well, like I said, abortion is the termination of the pregnancy, so there's different methods on how to terminate the pregnancy.
What was that? You cut out just a little bit.
So abortion is the termination of the pregnancy early, and so there's different methods in doing that, right? Like you can do
Yeah,
that
but like I
informally. There's a
said,
lot of different
hold
um
on though. But like I said, like when I'm talking
Soulless
about
Ginger,
abortion,
we were in another live, and I'm not gonna pull anybody else up. I mean, unless because I don't think we're going to be going on longer. And we were in a different live debating, and they ended, so we were just finishing the
yeah,
debate
I
on that.
think like if we pull other people up, it's gonna start like a crazy
That's fine. Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you though. I don't really care.
No, that's fine. I mean, like, if somebody wants to come up for fact checking, like, that's fine. But like, you know, but uh, yeah. I mean, it's not. It's so, but like, basically, a DNC is early on, and I mean, there's other means to doing an abortion, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay. So I don't understand like why um you're so adamant about not using my definition. I mean, like this is the definition that
Yeah,
doctors
but like
use.
when we're talking about like when we're talking about abortion legally, like the reason that it would be illegal is because it's like unaliving the child. So like considering it just in like medical terms, an abortion, which is like even like a miscarriage could be like medically considered an abortion in a way, but like
It
when
is.
when we're talking about when we're talking about like the general view of abortion, I think it's like common to understand that like everyone we're thinking of abortions that are like meant to unalive the fetus.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to be
So like
disingenuous by what
I
I'm
obviously
saying, right? Like,
I wouldn't be
but
for or
when we're
against like
talking about
banning
after viability,
homeschooling.
listen, like after viability, it's an abortion, it might result in the unaliving of it, but that's not the intention of it, right? Like the intention is to get the fetus out, right? And if it's not viable, then obviously it's going to unalive. Like if
Yeah,
it's
so
not
like
viable, then it's not. It's if it doesn't have lungs and it can't breathe or be incubated, then like obviously it's going to unalive, right?
with the exception for life of the mother, I don't think that there's really any case where like a late term abortion should be done.
I mean, late term abortions are pretty much like if you have a late term abortion, then you want a child, right? Like they're doing them for medically necessary abortions, and
That's
they're
not
doing
true
them
though.
for
There are people that get abortions late term that aren't it isn't for medical reasons.
that's not for not medical reasons.
Yeah, like of course the majority of late term abortions are for medical reasons, which would be why
Okay,
um
th-
which would be
Carly,
why there's an
Carly, it's
exception.
just what you're saying. Like, listen, I'm not trying to shut this down. Like, this is very important. What you're saying is not true. Like to get like
What's
if
not
they're
true?
doing them, so if somebody's having a late term abortion, it's for medical reasons. They're
That's not
not
always
doc.
true.
like, I mean, like doctors don't just give abortions after viability unless it's for medical reasons. Before viability, like most abortions happen before 15 weeks, right? And like after that, like they don't, like doctors don't give them out, like unless they're medically necessary. But the thing is, you have to understand, like different women have different tolerances on like what their threshold for, like for instance, a woman that is 35 years of age, and if she is diabetic, I mean, like just any one of these conditions, diabetes, uh, her being over 35, her having high blood pressure, all these are going to put her into a high risk pregnancy, right?
Those
That's
aren't
how
reasons to have an abortion, in my opinion.
I'm just, I mean, that's your opinion, but I'm just explaining to you that
Correct.
immediately they're going to be in high risk, right? So, like, basically, you can throw multiple situations and the risk is going to increase. And so, like, the question is why do you want the government to decide for your daughter? Like, if you have a daughter, why do you want the government to decide what your daughter's threshold is for an abortion? Like because like if your daughter has cervical cancer and she has diabetes and she's over the age of 35 and she already has a family, why do you want the
So
government
just to be
making the
clear, like
decision for her?
I feel like this is a bit of misinformation. You're like if they have cervical cancer. So if somebody has cervical
That happened to
cancer,
my friend.
hold on. If somebody has cervical cancer and medical professionals say that it would be in her best interest to not carry this child, that would be a medical exception. That is something that is like directly impacting her survival.
Okay, so and
Somebody having
my friend in Texas, his
hold
wife had
on,
to
I'm
leave
not
the
done
state for an
talking.
abortion.
Hold on. This is a thing though. When you say like medical exception, we need to like have some sort of severity to medical exception because some people could just be going around and being like, "Yeah, I had morning sickness and it kind of made me uncomfortable, so I'm pretty sure I'm just going to unalive this child because it's making me uncomfortable."
That
That's not
doesn't happen.
okay.
That's not like Carly. Like
Like what?
that doesn't happen. Like that's not what's happening.
You just said why should the government
So
control the pregnancy?
I gave you an example of something that actually happened to a friend of mine, right, in Texas, and his wife had
I honestly like
cervical
I'm not gonna like
cancer,
if it's
and
like
then you told me
anecdotal.
morning sickness. Like, are you kidding me?
If it's anecdotal, like maybe you should
You don't have
just
to, Carly. I'm not, I don't. You don't have to, but like the reality is
well, you're saying why
situations
should the
like that
government
happen.
hold on.
Okay,
You're saying why should the government have a say in the threshold of like what deems it as like a medical exception for abortion, because we obviously need to have some sort of
Okay,
like
can you give
regulations,
me?
because somebody could claim that they need a medical exception for abortion for so many things. They
Well,
could be like, yeah,
let's
it's
go over
honestly a
your
headache.
exception. What's your exception for medical? Like
My
if I give
exception
you,
would be for life of the
can I
mother.
give you a situation and then you tell me
No.
if it's
My
acceptable?
my exception would be if life of the mother. So if a doctor, a medical professional deems that like the life of the mother is at um like direct risk that they're going to die because of because of this carrying this pregnancy, then I think that it would be okay to
Okay, so you want the mother to be in critical condition, which means she needs life-saving
no,
measures
that's
to.
not what I said.
Okay, but
That's not what I
that's what the
said.
laws say in Texas, right? Like it
No,
actually
it's not.
says
No,
it
it's
says
not.
eminent danger. You know,
You're twisting everything I
Carly,
say. You're twisting
Carly,
everything I say.
Carly,
That's not what I
Carly.
said.
Do you know
You'd like didn't
eminent
listen.
danger?
You can't listen to
Carly,
what I said.
Carly,
No,
Carly.
no, no. Let me explain what I said instead of you just assuming.
Okay,
Like,
go ahead.
jeez.
Go ahead.
I just said that I think that the life of the mother needs to be at risk in order for an abortion to be medically justified. Do you understand that? So
Okay,
that's not saying that the
okay, but
hold on. That's not saying that the mother needs to be in critical condition and need life-saving measures. That doesn't like a doctor could say that the
okay,
life of the mother, hold on, the life of the mother is going to be at risk later on in the pregnancy and she's not going to survive carrying this child. Then of course the abortion should be deemed medically necessary. The mother does not need to be in life-saving critical condition in order to get this. But like
okay.
I feel like you're
So
just twisting everything I say to try to make it sound more
Carly,
extreme than what I'm actually saying.
Carly, I'm not trying to misrepresent you. Like I don't care about winning. Like I want the truth. So like Carly, like okay, in Texas and many of the states, they use the term eminent danger. Eminent danger is not a medical term. They use so like the closest medical term would be critical condition, which would mean life-saving measures. So like I wasn't
Hold on.
attacking you or trying to
Hold on.
misrepresent your position.
Hold
I'm
on.
just
You
explaining
just
to
said
you
you just said imminent danger is not a medical term, but then you just
it's
equated
not.
it to critical condition. So how can
That's
you
the
do that if it's
closest.
not a medical
Okay,
term?
I said that's the closest term that doctors use is critical condition to to eminent danger, right? Like eminent danger is a phrase that we use, but like as humans, right? Like, but like
Dude, that's
that
literally
doesn't
you
mean that
just
it's
saying that those two
specifically
terms are like
what
synonymous. That's
what.
literally you just saying that those two terms are like the closest thing. That's not like nobody's saying that except
No,
you.
Carly. Um, so like I have friends that are doctors. I have
Okay,
family
you
that
have
are
friends that are
doctors,
doctors is not a
and
source,
like
bro.
I
Like,
talk
I'm
about this
sorry.
stuff with them, and like, but I'm just saying, I'm
Dude,
like,
this is so
listen,
funny. There's no way you just said that. I have friends that are doctors and I talk about this stuff with them.
okay. I mean, Carly, like, listen, like, if you
Uh,
don't, I've talked to nurses
We're
on
the
here.
same, basically.
I've had people try to deny that in the past, right? And like the thing is like what you're doing is you're stalling, right? Like you don't actually want to have the conversation because like
Stalling.
okay, then why are you're being
We're not
like
stalling. I'm not
you
stalling.
are.
I'm not gonna let you
You're
insinuate
dragging
that
your
I've made
feet.
claims that I haven't.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
gonna let
So
you do that.
Carly, okay, let me ask you a question. So you don't think a mother should be
That's so
at critical condition?
weren't
Like
allowed to have an
you do
opinion on this
realize that
subject.
I can prove this to you that that's what's happening in the actual states like Texas. Like they're sending mothers out to the parking lot and they're saying you got to start like I'm paraphrasing
Okay,
here, but they're saying
you
you have
keep
to be
saying like
bleeding out before we can actually treat you.
hold on, you keep saying that um you need to like decide what you want to argue here because like you keep bringing up Texas, but then like your claim here is that voting Republican is going to increase more abortions. Like, do you want to talk about Texas? Do you want to talk about
Well, I'm talking right
Republicans?
now.
Do
I
you
was
want to talk
explaining.
about like
You asked me
make
a
a
question.
point?
Listen, Carly, I want to talk about the medically necessary abortions right now because that's what you asked me, and I think it's a good topic.
No, no,
So, like,
here's the thing. The reason I asked you this is because there's no point in you arguing that arguing medical exceptions, SA, all these exceptions if you believe that abortion should be legal all 9 months of the pregnancy anyways. Then we should
Carly,
just argue why you think that.
Carly,
Why
this
don't we
is
just argue
actually the
that? That's a much
Carly,
more general
Carly.
thing to
This
argue.
is the reason. Like the medically necessary abortions is the reason why I think it should be all 9 months, specifically.
Why? Because so
Okay,
why?
and I'll get it to you, but
What
like
does
I don't know
medical
why you're
exceptions?
running from
What
this.
does medical exceptions have anything to do with elective abortions?
I
The
like
majority of abortions are absolutely elective and have nothing to do with
I
life of the
feel
mother.
like you're running from this topic right now. I feel like you
No,
won't
you
let me
just
ask
don't
you
want to
anything.
actually talk about anything. You just want to like pick
Okay,
apart my
do you
medical
want?
exception when I'm saying I'm pro-life, you're pro-choice, and you believe that abortion should be legal all 9 months of the pregnancy, then why?
I'm
Why should
explaining
somebody
it to
be
you,
able to
Carly.
have an
I'm
elective
explaining it to you.
abortion?
I'm explaining it to you right now. So
Why should someone be able to have an elective abortion? Just answer that.
okay, so an elective thing. I'm just doing one on one right now. Um, we're not going to be on live. We were in a different live, and we're coming. So we are finishing in here. But so basically, so an elective abortion, pretty much most abortions are elective, right? Because it just means that like an elective surgery or anything elective, it just means that it's scheduled. So like most abortions are going to be scheduled. It has nothing to
No,
do with the
this doesn't
severity
have
of it.
anything to do with scheduling. That's completely false.
Carly, like these are very easy terms you can look up. Like so elective, like I understand that pro-lifers on here like to use that term, and sometimes pro-choicers will entertain them or or don't know, right? But the
No, so
reality is an
here's the thing.
elective
Here's the thing.
procedure,
No, no,
listen,
no, no.
Carly,
You're spreading
elective
false information. You're
procedure
spreading false
is a
information.
scheduled procedure. It doesn't
That's not true.
like I can schedule a heart procedure and it's
This
elective.
is so dumb. This is so dumb. So do you
Carly,
think that if
just because
somebody,
you don't
hold on,
understand it doesn't mean it's dumb.
hold on. So if somebody gets an abortion for a medically necessary reason, but they schedule the procedure, it is then going to be elective?
Yes, that's
No.
the definition of elective. Carly,
No, an elective
Carly,
abortion. Hold on, let me speak. An elective abortion refers to an abortion that's not for SA, not for medical reasons. It's simply by the request of the woman. That is
I'm,
what an elective abortion is.
like if you want to say that, that's fine, but
That's not
I
what I
can
want to
actually
say. That's
prove, I
literally
can
what it's
prove it to
defined
you.
as in
I mean,
medicine.
like, so there's, so elective
Elective does not just
procedure,
refer to a scheduled abortion.
that's
That's
what it
false.
means.
No,
Elective
it doesn't.
procedure, an
No, it doesn't.
elective
If I
procedure
bring up a
is,
source, will you concede?
um, it depends on the source.
Like, what source would you want?
I mean, sometimes like the
What
thing
about
is, Carly, like you do
medlineplus.gov?
realize,
What about med?
I
Hold on.
understand that. Listen,
What
you do
about
realize, like as I was telling you earlier, like after they passed Roe, some of the medical community will will use
can I
layman
ask
terms
you?
for the
Wait,
public
wait, wait.
because of the
Hold on.
stigma that
Can I please?
pro-lifers have given.
Can elective? Can I? Would you take medlineplus.gov, medical encyclopedia, as the definition of elective abortion being done because a woman chooses or simply wants to end the pregnancy?
Mm, I don't know. I'd have to look that up. But like,
Well, here I
I
have the source. I have the source right here. If you're not going to, like, elective does
I
not
mean,
refer
like I
to being
said, like,
scheduled. Every abortion is scheduled. Do you understand that? Every abortion is going to be
well,
scheduled
no,
to some
Carly,
certain
that's not
point.
true. That's not true.
People aren't
An
just like,
elective
it's not like,
procedure, like if it's
I
not
don't think
scheduled, it's
Planned
not an elective
Parenthood,
procedure.
I don't think Planned Parenthood has like a light up neon sign on their outside that says like walk-ins accepted.
Carly, most abortions don't happen in a clinic. They happen in a hospital.
Yeah, so they're still going to schedule that procedure. Like just because somebody is having a just because somebody schedules a procedure, they could schedule a procedure for medical reasons as well. That wouldn't make it an elective abortion. What makes something an elective abortion is that they're choosing to get this abortion.
I mean,
Yeah, me too at this point,
Carly,
John,
I feel like
honestly.
you're running from I feel
No,
like you're
I feel like
running
you're refusing. I feel like
from
you're
a medically
refusing.
necessary. Like I like talking about the medically necessary abortion. You brought it up. Now you're running away from that. Like and
No,
you
you're.
wanna argue about definitions.
Can you make me big screen?
Sure.
This is National Library of Medicine, Medline Plus. This is going to talk about how an abortion, medical abortion, and then it goes into talk about elective abortion. Um, hold
I
on.
mean, that's as I'm saying, like this is you have to understand.
It literally says right here, when I click on this article, elective abortion is done because a woman chooses, elects to end the pregnancy. Like, if you don't understand that, I really don't
You
know
mean
what to
you
tell
took
you.
one? Okay, now Google. Now do me a
Like,
favor.
look at all of this.
Google something for me.
What is an, hold
Google
on, what is an
Google
elective
elective
abortion?
procedure. Google elective procedure.
This is what you guys love to do. You like to separate terms. It's funny.
Separate terms. I mean, you're
Yeah, like when
showing
you're talking
one
about an
you're
elective
showing one
abortion,
thing as if that's the arbiter. I mean, because I can give you medically necessary. Look
hold
up
on, let's
net
go through the list.
medically.
Let's go through the
Okay,
list. Just be quiet
here.
for a
Look at
second.
this.
Let's go, hold on.
Look
Let's go
up
through the list.
medically. No,
Let's go through the list here. Okay, first
look
thing,
up
what is an
medically
elective
necessary
abortion?
abortion.
No, no, no.
Look up
What is an
medically
elective
necessary abortion.
abortion? What is an elective abortion? The term elective abortion describes the
You're
interruption of
not even
pregnancy
like you're
before
on some weird website.
viability at the
Like, do you
request
just go to anything on there and like you just want to act? And this is what I'm talking about. Like
at the
okay,
request of
the
the woman, but not for medical reasons.
look up the
What
term
does
elective.
elective what does elective mean? An
Look up the
abortion that's
term
done out of
elective
choice.
procedure for the love of
An
God. Like,
abortion that's done out of choice, but not medically necessary.
yeah, you're just pulling up any random website, and that's the problem. Like, there's a
Random
lot of
website.
misinformation about
We have
on here. Like, you do realize that
.gov.
how many? Okay, you have what? Just because it is .gov on there doesn't mean it's like an arbiter. You do realize that, right? Like, there's
Oh,
opinion
so you
pieces on
wouldn't
there. There's non.
trust the medical encyclopedia? I find that really funny. You wouldn't trust this
Yeah.
website? National
So
Library of
let's see.
Medicine, medical encyclopedia.gov.
Somebody's saying that you're lying about that. It's actually saying urgently necessary. Um,
Well, you can read. I literally have the screen up that I'm reading from. If you can't read, I can't really like help you with that one. That's our public system,
so
school system
I mean,
failing everyone.
you're looking at one thing, and I think you're running from the topic. Like, I don't think you
No,
want to have this
you
conversation.
won't concede that an elective abortion refers to somebody wanting to get the abortion procedure not for medical reasons or for SA. That's what an elective abortion is.
Um, look up elective procedure.
No, because elective procedure is different than elective abortion. We're talking about elective abortion. But sure, I'll look it up because I'm sure it doesn't have anything to do with being scheduled. I don't know where the hell you got that information from.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is
Um,
like honestly,
it says
I
an
don't want to
elective
argue
procedure
about.
is something that you
I
choose
honestly
to
don't
have.
want to argue about these like actual
Hold on
definitions,
though,
right?
hold
Because
on.
I
You
think it's
told me
you're pivoting the
no, no, no.
conversation
You
away.
just don't like
I
what
can
I'm
prove this
saying.
to
You
you. I
don't
mean,
like
like
when I'm
I can look
proving
up
you wrong with
all like
sources.
listen. If you want to look up what a medically necessary abortion is, right?
It
Because a
may
medically
be it.
necessary or
Hold
a
on.
non-medically necessary abortion.
You told me to look this up. It may be a surgery you choose to have for better quality of life, but not for a life-threatening condition. Oh
Yeah, that's
shit.
not true. That's not true.
What do you mean that's not true? That's from
Listen,
hopkinsmedicine.org.
first off, you couldn't even see it. You're just
I mean, holy
okay,
shit.
Mike. Hold
Holy
on.
shit. Hopkinsmedicine.org. That's not true. Yeah, you're right. This guy has friends that are doctors, so of course he would know more than hopkinsmedicine.org or the medical um uh
No,
he would know more
I
than the
was talking
National
about the
Library of
term.
Medicine, of
It's
course, as well.
terms. I mean, like Carly, you
Why are we talking in terms of
you
insurance? We're
would
not
want to
arguing
pivot.
insurance at
You
all.
don't want to talk about the conversation. You would
Thank you,
rather argue
Dana.
about this, and
No, I'd rather
I can prove to you. Okay, so if I prove this to
I would
you,
rather just argue facts. I would rather you concede that medlineplus.gov, the Encyclopedia of Medicine, is stating that an elective abortion refers to somebody who wants to get an abortion, not for life-saving measures. But you won't concede to that. But it's true, and I have multiple sources to prove this. Like I don't want to get into this crazy argument, but like if you're gonna deny facts, then like there's no point in us debating. You're denying facts because you don't like that they go against what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, elective, let's see.
What do you mean, let's see? I have it here for you. Elective abortion is done because a woman chooses to end the
As
pregnancy.
I said earlier, I mean, like basically, there's a difference from like when they write a
Can
layman
everyone read
definition
this?
than the actual what's actually being used. Like, and that's the problem here. You can so
Can
basically
like
just because they
can
write,
anyone
okay,
who
like
reads
Carly, I'll give you an
can the
example.
chat like
Just because
agree
they
that this is
write,
true?
just because they write miscarriage doesn't mean a miscarriage is not a spontaneous abortion. You do understand that,
Wait,
right?
show your screen. Like, do you
Do
like
you
why?
understand that? Like, do you?
No,
Okay,
I want you to I want you
what's a
hold on.
spontaneous abortion, Carly? What's a
I
spontaneous
want you
abortion?
to concede. No, 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 no. You're not. You have just dodge
Okay,
passes. I want you to concede.
is
I
there
want you
layman
to
terms?
concede.
Do you
I want you
understand
to
that there's
concede.
actually layman terms?
I want
Do
you
you
to
understand?
concede.
Are you saying
I
that
want
there's
you
no
to.
layman terms in
I
the
want
medical
you to
community?
concede. I want you to concede that an elective abortion is for when somebody is choosing to have an abortion, not for medical needs or for sexual assault cases. An elective abortion is simply by choice.
Um, I mean, are you denying that there's layman terms?
No, I'm. Are you denying that an elective abortion is because a woman chooses to do so? Like, can you read this?
I'm gonna let my friend in here just to fact check us
I'm sure you're. Can you just read this from the National Library of Medicine Encyclopedia?
because
An
I
elective,
just want
an
you to
you've been
elective,
gaslighting me and you're pivoting.
she's
I'm
gaslighting you.
gaslighting you when
Yeah.
I have a
It's an
source.
I'm
Please.
just saying an elective abortion is an interruption of a pregnancy requested by the woman.
Yeah,
And it
so
doesn't
an
mean that
elective
it's not
abortion.
because she was raped. It's for many
So
reasons.
that's not true. That's not true.
That
So
is true.
like rape would have a separate category for reason for
No,
abortion.
no, it wouldn't. What
Yes, it
category
would.
would that be?
It would be under SA or grape.
A grape abortion? Is that what it's called?
It would be well, I can't say it on terms of TikTok, but there would be
Here, I'll
like
let one of your friends up too, or I don't know if she's your friend,
I
but
don't know that
I'll
I
let
have any
What's
friends
it
up
Steven.
called?
here.
It's called grape
Not
abortion.
friend, but somebody on
It's
the
called
Elective
right.
so
abortion.
I'm sure I'm
All of
not
that falls under elective abortion. Stop
that's
gaslighting.
not true.
It
That's
is
not true.
true. It is too
Thoughts, you
true.
might need to put
Do you
your
know what
camera on because
gaslighting
it's
is?
Yeah, you're doing it.
What is gaslighting?
Oh my God. Gaslighting.
listen,
What you're
Carly.
doing.
I
So
mean,
gaslighting is getting
Carly,
hold on,
Carly.
hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, I'm talking. Gaslighting would refer to me like making
You've
you
been
question
talking.
your would make you question like reality and your existence. Am I making you question
So
reality and existence?
when
Because
you
right
go
now,
on, you're
Yes, you
apparently
are.
going off on some
all I'm doing
tangents.
is bringing up
I'm asking
evidence of
you
what I'm
elective
saying.
abortions. So how are abortions categorized? Since you're an expert on this.
So abortions are categorized by elective abortions. They're
Elective,
categorized under medical need, and then there
medical.
would be like a percentage for I believe I don't know if it's grouped together, but there's one for incest, and then there's going to be one for grape as well.
Oh, so those are separated out of the elective and medical reasons.
Yes, those would be.
And where's your source for that?
I could pull one up for you.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. So there's 4 categories.
I don't. There might be more than that. I'm finding it for you right now. Those are like the main. Like, are you insinuating that there's like only one category of abortion?
No, I'm just trying to check your sources and because
Well,
elective
wow,
abortions,
that's
I've never heard
pretty
of that
common.
before. In fact, I got to get my computer out.
You've never heard of elective abortions? Then
No, I've
clearly you
never
haven't like,
heard
done a
of
lot of research.
separating grape and incest out of elective abortions.
Like just 1% of women obtain an abortion because they became pregnant through grape, and less than 0.5% because of incest. Those are
The,
all
the, the
subcategories
thing
of
is,
abortion.
Carly, like The thing is like my statement was saying that there is, and I said this from the beginning, there's layman terms that get used in here. And elective abortion is a layman term. It's not a medical term. That was my claim.
So, just quick, I wanted, based on the elective part, which for the definition of elective, she was kind of dishonest about it. It's chosen by the patient rather than urgently necessary.
That's not true. I literally pulled up my
Yeah,
source.
no, I know, and you said medically
How was I
necessary
dishonest?
because
No,
you
How was I
said medically.
dishonest?
Hey, you asked me a
I
question
literally
twice
showed
in
my
a row.
screen.
You asked me a question twice in a row, and it gave me a chance to answer. Maybe if you ask a
Well,
question,
stop
stop
spewing
talking,
Stop talking
and I
over
can
him.
answer. So,
Stop
if
spewing misinformation.
okay, it says literally chosen by the patient rather than urgently necessary. Your term was medically necessary. That's the dishonest part.
That's not dishonest. I literally
So,
looked up elective procedure, which is what the host wanted me
sure,
to look
go
up.
ahead and
It
show
says,
me again.
hold
Show me
on,
where
it
it
says
says
it may
medically
be.
necessary. Show me
I
the
literally read this
definition
word
of,
for word.
right.
I
No,
literally read
that's
this
not the
word for word.
definition of elective. Show me the
It's literally
definition of
the
elective.
definition of elective procedure. That is what he asked me to pull up. Like, clearly you weren't listening. Put your listening ears on. Go ahead and, like, figure it out. This is literally what an elective. This is by
Pull up.
hopkinsmedicine.org.
Yeah, pull up
An
with all the
Pull up.
definitions. You have 4
Hey,
definitions.
Carly,
You have 4
stop
categories to
talking.
Hold
show.
on.
Pull up the
Let me
definition.
talk. Hold on.
Pull up the
Pull 'em
Let me
up.
definition of
talk.
elective, Carly.
So, an elective procedure, which is what the host wanted me to
No,
pull up, refers
it was
to.
me that was asking
Let
you to
me
do it.
talk. Let me talk.
Carly,
An
pull up the
elective
definition of
procedure is
She's
elective.
a surgery
pivoting.
you choose to have a
Yeah.
better quality of life, but
Totally
not for
pivoting.
life-threatening condition.
Because
You
she can't
gave
If you
prove
want
it.
to read more on
Roxy,
that,
hold
if you
on.
want to read more on that, go ahead and
Carly,
go to
we asked you for the definition of
hopkinsmedicine.org,
elective, and you
types
lied
of
about it.
surgery.
Carly, now the definition of elective, which you were dishonest about, you saw that it said
I didn't
urgently
talk about the
necessary,
definition of
and
elective.
you.
I talked about the definition of elective procedure.
Hey, can you not scream and
She
overtalk
Can
me?
you not
literally
spew
was talking
misinformation?
about elective. I didn't even hear her say medical.
See,
I
she said.
literally said what an elective procedure would be considered per John
Okay,
Like
so
the
Hopkins.
what's
host
the
asked her.
so what's the definition of elective, Carly?
Well, that's a separate term. Do you want me to define elective? It's not
No,
elective
because
abortion.
it is
It's a whole
exactly
separate thing.
what Red was talking about. He said that it's a scheduled procedure, and that's exactly what that means. It's not urgently necessary. It's chosen by the
That's not
patient
true.
rather
The
than
definition.
chosen by the doctor.
Hold on. The definition of elective for surgical or medical terms doesn't even refer to scheduling at all. It refers
No,
to
I
chosen.
understand.
It says
You
chosen by
you
the
can.
patient rather than
What do you
urgently
think they
suggested.
choose?
That's
What do
the
you think they
point.
choose, Carly?
Dude, are you
Carly,
guys like even
point,
What are
though.
you
capable of
what do you
reading or
think they're
using
choosing,
Google?
Carly?
Holy
What do you
shit.
think they're choosing, Carly? What do you
Like
think
that
they're
was the
what do
whole
you think?
point of the
Hold on.
argument. Like,
Wait. Does this say
What
scheduled
do you think
anywhere in here?
what do you think they're choosing, Carly? What are they choosing in that sentence? What is the patient choosing?
Guys, I can't.
Choosing a date to have the abortion, maybe? Do you think they're choosing to have the
yeah, I
date
mean,
the
like
abortion, Carly?
it's a
Do you
broad,
think that
and the
might be
whole point
possible?
it's a broad term,
Fuck.
right?
No, that is not
Because
valid. The term
elective,
elective does not have anything to do with scheduling.
Okay, then
Like,
you
this is.
then
Do
you
you
answer.
guys
It
No,
think
no,
this
no,
is
does
the
stop.
not have
Both of
easiest?
you
anything to
guys.
do with
Both of you
scheduling.
guys, stop.
Elective
Then
means
you
you
answer
are
the
Guys,
question.
this is
Thought.
the easiest
Carly,
shit I've
stop.
ever partaken
Carly,
in.
stop.
let
Then you
Todd
answer
go,
the question,
Carly.
Carly.
No,
Then
how
thought.
about you all
You
stop
answer the
talking at
question.
once? Are you even
What
capable
are
of
they
that?
choosing? What are they choosing?
They're
Thought.
choosing
They're
to have
choosing
an
to unalive their
abortion.
child in an elective
Okay,
That's what
abortion.
and
they're
by
choosing,
doing that,
but that
and
doesn't mean they're gonna.
and
That
thought.
doesn't have nothing to do with scheduling.
So they're not
If
going to
you take
schedule it
out
when
the
they choose to have it.
I'm
They don't
sure
make a
they
schedule
will
it.
schedule it at
Are
some
you fucking
point.
kidding me? So what
But if
do?
you
They
take
just
out,
choose it in their mind. It's just a thought process.
sweetie,
It's
the
just like
definition
I
of
choose to have
elective
this
does
abortion.
not
It's
have
going to happen
anything
now.
to do with scheduling.
So
That is
when
a
it literally
side note.
when the literally
Elective means you are
definition,
choosing
hey,
to have
shh,
something outside.
hey,
No, you're
Calm
trying to
down.
shush me.
Can we talk
Outside
normal?
of the
so
doctor's orders.
so
No,
when
because
it
you guys are
says
full of shit.
when it says it's a medical treatment chosen by the patient rather than urgently necessary, will that suggest instead of the doctor making the schedule to make the
Scheduling has
surgery,
nothing to
it
do
would
with it.
No,
would be the
Elective
okay,
does not mean
patient
so
that
scheduling.
chooses?
if you
Holy
actually look
fuck.
at the term, if you don't separate the words and try to like place the semantics and you just look up what an elective
I'm playing
abortion means,
semantics. You're the one
It
that
would mean
literally is be like, no, it
it
doesn't
would
make sense.
mean an elective abortion would literally
Okay,
mean
can we get back to
Oh, my
medical now
Bluetooth
that you
cut
lost
out.
that debate?
No, can you guys concede?
You
Can you guys
completely
concede
lost
that an
that.
I
elective
concede you don't.
You are
No, I
You're
didn't.
wrong. I
literally
concede
tap
that you
dancing
lost.
around the
Abortion,
truth.
an elective abortion literally means that you're just choosing, not for medical reasons, not for
Loser.
SA reasons, that you're just
Kylie, why
choosing
do
to
you
end the
debate
pregnancy.
people that have lower
Okay.
intellect than you?
I
Why do
know,
you
but
do
Criminal.
this?
Oh
God,
God.
at
God.
least
Okay.
at least people are entertained by this. Like shit.
Carly, can you
And then
can,
you tell
can
me,
we
and then you tell me I'm gaslighting
Carly,
you, which is a
Carly, can we have a
crazy.
conversation without
No,
talking over each other?
no. Hold on, 1 second,
Carly,
1 second, and then I'll let you
Carly,
talk.
He needs
1
to
second,
calm
and I'll let
down
you
Carly,
so
talk.
are
we
you
can
gonna
have a
let me talk?
conversation. Jesus
No,
Christ.
give
You
me
have
1
been
second.
No, no,
Like
hijacking the
no,
literally,
entire
no,
conversation
I
this
can
whole
say
time.
this in 10 seconds.
You need to calm
So
down.
I can say this in 10
The
seconds. You
Can you
chat
accuse
calm
me.
literally
down,
does not
please?
agree with you guys. When you
You
say that
accuse me
Carly
of
has lost,
gaslighting.
your
You
chat
don't even
doesn't
know what
agree with you.
gaslighting is.
I
Gaslighting
don't
is
care what the
Carly,
cat
is
thinks.
abuse.
Carly,
Gaslighting
It's
is
called
it's
abuse
funny they were
forcing
calling me
manipulation.
the
someone
There
to
you
Phoenix
go.
doubt
one.
There's
It's
their
gaslighting.
hilarious.
sanity or reality.
Hollywood.
I've never heard
Gaslighting
anybody
is a
call me
type
the
of
Pimp
Well,
abuse
you
that
need to
King,
causes
lay
and
off
someone
the
to
started bringing
doubt
coffee.
that up,
their
and that's
sanity
pretty
or
funny.
reality. I'm causing you to doubt your sanity or perception of reality based
Carly,
on bringing up the definition.
Okay,
That's
can we
Carly,
get
bullshit.
back to
No,
medical abortions?
you're
Can you
literally
concede
saying
that you
shit.
don't know what
Carly,
gaslighting means
can you
and you don't
stop
know what an
talking?
elective abortion is?
Can you
I know.
stop
Carly, you
talking
said
for
you
a
were gonna
second?
let other people talk.
Yeah, no
Are you gonna
shit.
do that
Jesus
or
So
not?
Christ.
Well, you guys
when I
don't know
came
what
in here,
anything is.
holy smokes, Carly.
I'm
When
having
I
to like
came in here,
educate you on what
holy
basic
smokes!
Carly,
Every time I try to say something, you can't shut up.
I
So
know.
when I first came, here she goes. Here she goes. She's lighting up. She's gonna interrupt me. So when I first came in here, I said this is the definition you gave for elective, and you were like, nope, that's not the definition I gave. That's not the, and that is literally the definition that you gave. You changed
That's false.
you changed urgently to medically necessary. You did.
That
That's
is
You did
not
false.
that.
what she
That's
said. You need to
false.
put
She
I
your
did
literally
ears
do
said
in.
the
that.
definition of an elective procedure.
And that by
I never
definition,
once I
that by
never once
definition is
referenced I
gaslighting.
never once referenced the definition of elective until you asked me to.
No, you
And then I
did.
brought
It
it
was
up
in the
and
very
proved you wrong
beginning.
again.
It was
Then I
in the
Okay,
brought
very
it up and
beginning.
proved you wrong again and told
Car-
you that it has
Hey,
nothing to do
you're
with
just
scheduling
repeating
and it
yourself
means to
now.
be chosen rather than
It,
urgently necessary.
okay, so let's answer this. When the patient is choosing, what are they choosing?
No shit that they're choosing to have an abortion. That's not what we're
Okay,
debating. Like,
so
can you
when
just
they choose,
concede?
hold on,
Can you
Carly. Okay, you
concede that
answer
I
the
didn't?
no, because you answered the
No.
question. Now let me
Stop
finish my
saying false
questioning.
information. You're saying
Let me
false
finish my
information every
questioning.
time you
So,
speak.
Carly,
Carly,
so they choose to have an abortion. Do they have to make a schedule, like a date, to have that abortion? Is that part of the choosing?
Yeah,
That's the dumbest shit I've ever
Yeah.
heard.
Okay.
I
So
already told the
when
host.
we're
Hold
talking
on,
about
you asked me a question. You asked me a question.
because
Don't
I'm
let
not
me
done with my
respond.
line of questioning. I'm
No,
not done
you
with my
asked
line
me
of
a
questioning,
question
so
and
you
you
can
don't let
stop.
me
Okay,
respond.
you can shut up, or I'm
So
gonna boot you. Is that good? Okay, cool. So just shut up and let me finish my line. Okay, then
You're
bye.
saying false
Then
things.
let
You're
me
asking me
finish my
questions.
line of
You're asking me
questioning. Then let
questions
me
and not letting
finish my line
You're
of
asking
questioning,
me
Carly.
questions and not letting me
Carly,
respond.
Carly,
Goodbye.
just
Goodbye.
you can ask questions after you're
You're
done.
gonna fucking
Just
leave, dude. You're
like
gonna
you.
shout
This is
your
what
way
you've
out
been
of
doing
here.
the
Mute
entire
her.
time. You talked over me
Wait
the
a minute.
entire
Who
time.
runs this live?
Then
I
why are you
do.
asking me
We have
I
questions
these
and not
fucking
letting me
do.
robots that
respond?
come in here and
Don't ask me
So
questions
they
if you
let's
want
don't
go
to
want
back.
me to
Let's
respond.
like the
So I don't even
like
know what my
Carly,
question
like
is now.
the
I've
thing
forgotten. You
is,
fucking
Now
talked
you're
over
all
me so
talking over
much,
each other. This is hilarious.
Carly.
Let them eat each other, I guess.
So here's the thing: if they're choosing to have an elective abortion, that's the difference between a medically necessary, like the doctor having to urgently give it, and electively means you have to schedule it and do it at a later time. That's the only difference. You were
That's not
wrong in that.
true.
It
That
is
is
true. It's
the dumbest shit
100%
I've heard
true.
all day.
Okay, then give me a better reason. Give me a better excuse. What's the difference between
Elective has
urgently
nothing to
necessary
do
and elective
with
surgery?
scheduling.
What's
but
the
I get
difference
what you're
between
saying.
no,
okay,
stop.
I'm
What's
gonna
the
tell you.
what's the difference between
I know
medical
your question.
necessary or urgently
What's the
necessary
difference
and
between
Medically
what?
electively necessary?
necessary
What
means
is the
the
Wait,
difference?
stop,
doctor
Chris,
has
stop,
What's
advised
the
Chris. Wait,
you.
difference?
let me hear this question. Let
Elective
me
Holy
hear this
means you are
question.
fuck.
choosing on your own to do it. That's
Uh-huh.
yes, you will have to schedule that, but the
Uh-huh.
definition of elective does not have anything to do
okay,
with scheduling.
okay. If I
I
could
guess you don't
prove this
schedule
really
it. You
quick,
just think about it. Okay.
I've
because
literally
like
proved it. I
basically,
brought
like
up like 5
Carly, just give me a
sources,
minute.
and you
I'm
guys
not
told
even
me I'm
gonna ask you a
That's the
question,
gaslighting.
dumbest.
Carly. I'm
That's the
gonna
dumbest
You're
explain
argument
myself to
insane.
you've ever
everybody in the
heard.
room. So
You're
Carly,
insane for that.
Carly, For the
No,
love
I
of
brought up
God.
5 sources, and then you're like, I can prove it to
Carly,
you. I
you're
just
like
did prove it to you.
you won't let anybody talk. I'm not even gonna ask you any
I
questions.
have let you talk. I have let you talk,
Okay,
and
let
you
me
guys just say
explain it
false
because like I'm
information.
the one that made the claim and then you're not
Wait,
even
can I
letting me
ask
talk.
you a
So
question,
So
host?
someone in the
the
chat
last
made a good comment. They said you have to schedule a transplant surgery.
Okay,
Does
can
that
I
make a
make
surgery
my point,
elective
please, for the love
Yeah,
of God?
scheduling?
that is. It is. That makes it is an elective
So
surgery.
transplant
Can you
Absolutely.
stop
surgery is
talking, Tic Tac?
elective.
Yes,
No,
that's the point.
Carly, you
That's
can
what
stop
like
being
I
rude to
made
me
that
though.
point earlier. Like
No,
so
I'm
like
good. You've
that
been
and
rude
the
to me. You
reason
told me
like
I'm
okay,
spewing false
there's a
information.
reason why I was separating it, right?
No,
Because you
that's
can
what you
have a
said.
medically
Jesus
necessary
fuck.
abortion
Gaslighting
and
again.
it can be scheduled, right?
Do you know
Because
what?
it's like
Am I
because
making
it
you
doesn't
question
it
your
just means that
sanity?
it's not
Stop over
urgently
talking to host.
necessary.
Am I making you question your sanity
No, you
or
literally
your
just tried to
perception of
gaslight me.
reality?
Harley,
You projected something on me that
That's
you've been
not
doing this whole
gaslighting,
time.
then.
That is
and
literally
you're
gaslight.
pivoting
You said
again
that I
off the
said
topic.
something that you literally said. That's
Do you
fucking
know what
gaslighting,
gaslighting
Carly.
is?
Carly,
Yes,
we've
What's
heard
Carly.
you say
gaslighting,
that
I'm
Tic
like 10
Tac?
fucking
times.
smarter than
We
you.
know you love
But
that.
I know what
she didn't
gaslighting
say
is.
that though. Everyone
Typically,
has
if you're
told you in
smarter
the
than
chat
someone,
she
you don't
didn't
need to
say it.
insert the fact that you're smarter than them.
Well,
Curly,
you're clearly not
I
gonna
would.
This
come
is
on.
from Britannica. Is that good enough?
You don't. No, it's not. You don't know what
it like
Of
gaslighting
you're
is.
course
not even
not.
questioning what the whole thing was about, right? Like you don't you
At the
didn't even
woman's
take time
request.
to
Wait,
like
Department of
actually
Red. What
listen to
what
what
would
I
you
was
consider
saying.
gaslighting?
Just call him Red.
Like, do
Department
you
of
think?
Red
Yeah,
Alert.
you can
What would
call
you
me Red.
consider
Yeah. So,
gaslighting?
Miss
Carly,
Roxy, does it
like,
say anything about scheduling in that Britannica?
Says an elective abortion is the interruption of a pregnancy before the 20th week of gestation at the woman's request for reasons other than maternal health or fetal disease. Most abortions in the United States are performed for this reason.
So you're using like Britannica, which is a .com, when I literally brought up the medical encyclopedia by the National Library of Medicine, talking about that an elective abortion is done because a woman
That was
chooses
just the
to
first
end
thing that popped up.
pregnancy.
You want me to bring more?
I
No,
don't disagree
I
with
want you
that. A
to
woman
look up what a
chooses. Yeah, that's
I
what an
want you to
elective
look in
abortion
the
is.
medical
That's what
I
that's what
want the
it
encyclopedia.
is.
definition where
100%.
it says schedule.
So no. That's
No, I want
100%
you
what
to
an
look at the
elective.
medical
Holy
encyclopedia.
fuck! I'm pretty sure words were coming out of my mouth still.
I'm
I'm
pretty sure I
100.
don't care.
Holy fuck, Carly.
I'm pretty sure I was
I
gonna
am
have a one-on-one
100%.
debate with the
Okay.
host,
Yeah,
and
the
then you
minute you
started
talk,
inviting all
she's
his
got to
friends
talk.
in.
It's really
I
weird.
don't fucking care. So I am 100% positive that is exactly what an election abortion is when a patient chooses to have an abortion. But my point is, she was arguing like it has nothing to do with scheduling. It is. An elective abortion just means it's not urgently
I'm so glad
necessary.
I'm recording
That's it.
this.
That's it. That's 100% it. It's not necessary immediately. That's it. It's elected. They can choose to have it at a later time. They should schedule that at a later time. Red was right. Anyway, she can come back now that
yeah,
I
I
got a
mean, in
fucking chance to
like
talk.
she's like completely uh misrepresenting what even the point would be to like bring that up, right? And honestly, like at this point, I forgot exactly what she was talking about
I
and
don't
what I
even
was
know why
talking.
we went into
It's
all
just
that.
it's so like I feel
So
like it
I got a
was.
comment. I've been recording this the whole time, and I'm gonna go back for Mr. Tic Tac 2 to prove where Carly did not say that about the medical. I'll post the video and tag you in it.
Excellent. Do that. Anyway, let's go back to medical.
Yeah, I mean, a medically necessary. So like, there's
I
medically
got you,
necessary
Carly. I'll
abortion,
send it
and
to your
like the
email.
only
I'm
like
gone
thought
because
like
I don't do this with people that's just yeah. No, I'm gone.
I
I'm
thought
gone.
like the thing is all I was you don't have to do it, but the thing is all I was
Say
trying
one
to
thing.
do is separate
Hold on.
medically necessary
I
abortion
just
to non-medically necessary abortion.
hold on. I'm gonna say one thing, and then I'll let you guys continue whatever you want to say. I just want to say thank you to the support in the comments. Follow me, and I just want to let everyone know up here that you're denying facts, and I would highly recommend.
Bye. That was funny, Red. Thanks for doing that.
That was Tic Tac. He's
Oh,
got
TikTok. Oh, that was good.
yeah.
You weren't gonna let her do her
You
speech.
could let the other people,
My
the people that have been
doggone.
waiting in there. Just...
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
Holy
mean,
she had a big
shit!
speech
What the
prepared.
fuck did I just hear, man? That fuck.
Okay, Red, can somebody tell me what the point of all that was? And
I
I'm not
know.
even disrespecting her. Like on both
I've
sides,
had a
why
lot
was
of
this
these
argument?
debates, and I feel like she didn't want to talk about medically necessary abortions, and she started to run, and like that's my best answer.
I know what happened. It's when I said that elective abortions included the incest and grape
But I
because
mean,
it
I
does.
still don't get the
Uh,
point of all of it.
And
Like,
she couldn't prove it, and so she tried to
was it
pivot
just
to
to
this
prove
other
each
thing.
other wrong? Like, or was it
I
arguing a
I
point
don't
against or
know.
for
Like normally
abortion?
when I
She went
talk,
spun
like
off.
normally I'm not doing it to debate, and you might be getting kicked because you have to shut on your camera, guys. I guess you guys are loading.
Oh,
shit.
Um, yeah, I'm not. I
Huh?
don't even know if I'm gonna stay on
Just
much
kick
longer
them off.
anyway. But um,
You got to request and turn your camera on when you come up.
yeah, like basically,
She's still fighting in the fucking comments. We know what elective abortion means. It means that they choose to have an abortion. We're not fighting you on that.
Oh my
You just
God.
don't. You just don't agree what elective means.
Ah!
yeah. And I was just trying to say, if it's elective, or I was trying to say that basically we can separate medically necessary from non-medically
She got
necessary.
muted. How'd that happen?
So like, because like it's a better way to describe it, because you can schedule it, right? Like, so like there's medically necessary abortions and there's non-medically necessary abortions.
So how did this topic come on? I mean, is she like a pro-lifer?
We were in another live, and the host, we started to debate this, and then the host was leaving, or he was calling it a night. So then we came in here to debate abortion, and then basically, and she wasn't gonna. She was only gonna stay for like 30 minutes. We were just staying longer than that, and basically every little thing that we were discussing, she wanted it. She didn't want to actually have the conversation. She wanted to,
Dominic.
That was stressing
whatever.
me
I
out.
mean,
I mean, I'm serious. I hate it when I'm trying to. I say two words and it's like it just. And I can't. It totally stresses me out.
Fucking wild.
Yeah,
I mean,
me too,
and
yeah.
Tic Tac was totally getting walked on.
So
That's why
hey,
I was
Red.
like, man, I'm done. I can't even talk to her. She's not like She's not, and I'm like, is she? I don't think she was having it in good faith, and like I don't care about winning, and I don't care if I'm wrong, just like. But the thing is, she was completely misrepresenting what my argument was about even talking about that, and basically, I just separate what a non-medically necessary and what a necessary abortion. I'm not, and I recognize that people use that term. I don't like that term, and I explain why I don't like it, and it was specifically because it doesn't really do it justice, and in terms of that, and I even explained to her there's a history of people using, and I think some of this was from earlier too, but like basically I was explaining that there's a history of doctors having better bedside manner after Roe mostly because pro-lifers were stigmatizing women that were having abortions, but some of them were medically necessary.
Well, that's
And
what she was doing when she was up here. She's stigmatizing women, just saying, "Oh, women just coming in willy nilly." I mean, there's a lot of reasons. That's why I jumped up here because there's a lot of reasons women get abortions. A lot.
So
Yeah.
And she's a woman
just
too. That's what scares me.
just real
Yeah.
quick, man. Do you remember when I was talking in the comments and I said that she was lying, and then I gave the definition for elective?
Yep. Yeah.
That's when she read the definition of elective. I said she's lying because she changed the word medically necessary from urgently necessary. That
Yeah.
was
Yeah, I
literally why I
remember
was saying
saying
and then she was trying to be like, no, I never said that. I literally commented in the comments when she said it. That's the time she said it, because she was showing it on the screen and she was wiggling back and forth. She was like shaking the camera back and forth and you couldn't read it. And I was reading the definition as she was reading it and she changed the fucking word. She was being dishonest about
Oh,
it.
wow. Good catch. Yeah, that
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me though. Because they're on their whole pro-life movement is a bunch of crap, you know, and they have to lie to have it make sense because it's not pro-life.
And the thing is like she started running down that because like basically I kind of forget some of it because it was just so convoluted because like all that talking, but basically like I think she was like she was challenging the way that I was doing it, and then she knew she had that one thing, and I was even explaining there's like people, I understand people use that terminology, but I don't like it, and I really didn't care about it. It wasn't like that wasn't the purpose of it. She just didn't want to have the conversation. Like there's no way.
She wanted to pivot away from medical because the medical is killing them. This
Yeah,
Texas
exactly.
thing
Yeah.
is killing them. This pro-life stuff, it's killing them because they've got. I'm sorry, I don't mean to unaliving them. Sorry, Red.
Yeah, that's right.
Whoopsie.
Oopsie.
I didn't do that. Anyway, yeah, because they got 20 women that have joined that Texas lawsuit. Then they have this Kate Cox is the politicians don't even want to talk about that. They've been confronted by numerous reporters and they're running from it. They know this is bad. And Kate Cox was also a Republican.
Just
She
real
also
quick, Chuck.
voted for Trump.
Just real quick, Chuck, turn your camera on for like 2 seconds. You don't even have to show yourself. Just turn your camera on and then turn it back off.
I
Yeah.
can't.
You can cover it with
you don't have enough?
your camera. Oh, you
I
don't
don't have
enough.
enough. I don't have
Damn.
enough followers.
Oh shoot. It's gonna
I
because
was trying to help.
It's a glitch. It's gonna
You're gonna time out again.
I don't know, man. Sometimes it'll let you on. TikTok's fucking weird.
Yeah, that update really messed things up.
They did.
Anyway, what's up, Chuck? What up, Chuck?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have 1,000 followers yet, so I can't use
That's
the
cool.
video.
What you got?
Okay, I'm in.
Oh, there it
Damn.
goes.
We tried.
I hate to laugh, but it's kind of funny.
That Justin guy, you were in his live. He came in a minute ago, and I invited him up, but he didn't accept.
I don't think he really argues that much, but he does he does like it's pretty funny. They don't let people talk misinformation in that live, and like they must have getting banned or something like that. But it's kind of funny that I've never seen that live until like the other day, and it's kind of interesting. But they're the when I went in the first time, I don't know. I don't want to be mean. I'm not even going to say anything. But
Well,
Nah,
guys,
man,
I
it's
had
not
to go
good.
to bed.
No, we didn't kick you. It was the algorithm. It
All right,
wasn't the
Ryan.
algorithm. It's just that you.
Have a
you're-
good night.
Have a
Okay,
good night,
we'll
bud.
see you later, Dark.
thanks, Ryan.
We didn't
Um,
kick you, Chuck. It just because you couldn't turn your camera on. You have an
I've been
iPhone probably. I think it's an iPhone glitch.
Oh, is that
I've
what
been
it
in there
is?
a
You
few
think it's
times.
mostly iPhones that are glitching?
Yeah.
It doesn't kick me. I've been in his live a few times. I've seen it because I have friends that go in there, and like it's weird. You're right, but the misinformation, like he's very picky about it. He picks and chooses what he deems to be misinformation, and every now and then he'll come up with, "Hey, man, that was proven wrong," or "That was debunked." On our side, like he'll fight. He'll be like, "Yeah, well, what was it? I heard something earlier about I don't know, immigrants getting $3,000 or something. I don't know, but he actually came back and said, no, that was debunked. Oh, it was cat litter in the schools. That's what it was. He came back, but his reference to it to being debunked wasn't a legit reference. It was fucking Joe Rogan. He came back and said Joe Rogan said it was debunked. I was like, bro,
That's fucking funny. Yeah, that's funny.
even though that's true, that's still not a reputable
Yeah.
fucking source, bro.
Yeah, not at all. Joe Rogan.
Anyway, so
Yeah, I mean, like she wouldn't even like let like that's the problem. Like she was running away from even letting me make an actual claim, right? I'm gonna save this live so I can listen to the whole thing and see what happened. Because now I am a little tired. So like if I messed up, like I'm willing to admit it, but like I don't think so.
Nah. Well, they got it recorded. They're gonna slam me. Can't wait. Make sure you put the .2 on the end, otherwise they won't tag me. Just so you know.
Dude,
I don't get on the other. Well, I've got
the
3
.2.
accounts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you do the .2 because I don't get on the other 2 very often. They're just kind of back. One of them's banned and the other one's a backup. So
Well, I'm sure it's not the
just
whole recording, but
yeah. Well, whatever they're gonna post to slam me, that's what I want to see. Make sure you tag me.
I heard something about Texas today that only 30% are 30% of Texans are pro life, all the or no, what did they say? Like total ban or for total ban of abortion or something. It was like a really small number of Texans. I was like really surprised at that. And I'm like, they need to get some people out to vote that if that's the case, because the women there are in serious trouble.
Where'd you
With
get her
Paxton.
from? Did she follow you over from Justin's? You said.
yeah, like basically
Ah.
we were we were the ones debating that topic on the panel, and I think he was pretty much just done. And then she said she had 30 minutes left before she gets ready for bed or whatever, and then so we came here and then debate, and then I turned it on and debated, and then she pretty much, the thing is like she wouldn't even let me make any claims on these things, and then she would start just yelling. She wouldn't let me talk, and she would in the other live she wasn't doing that. So I don't know what happened. But I think that she didn't want it. I think like what Roxy was saying, that she was probably, I didn't even think of that at the time. Like I knew she was pivoting away from medically necessary abortions, but I didn't realize why she was so triggered by the term. And that makes a lot of sense. I had no idea. Like I wasn't using that term because to trigger her. That's the term, like that you can look it up, right? Like, and she's claiming, and I honestly I forget at this point what exactly she was like claiming and versus me, because I think she was claiming when I said medically necessary abortion, she didn't like it. And I was telling her that because I normally tell people not to use the term elective abortion because it's more of like a layman's term, because like it could mean scheduling. It's not very specific. So like, and if I misspoke to her and I didn't say it, because I do that, I normally say that to people. So like if I did say something, fine, like, but we'll figure it out. Like what, and like it didn't prove anything, right? It's just arguing just to argue.
Yeah, that's why I came in.
I still think she was triggered by me having her look up how abortions are labeled.
Yeah, and then she started making those other claims, and then like, and I didn't even, that slipped when you like by me, because I was still more focused on going back to medically necessary abortions. So that's honestly what I like talking. I don't want to talk about the like philosophy of it. I like talking about the law and about the other stuff because I'll talk about the philosophy, like the philosophical stuff a little bit, but I don't go too deep into that because I feel it's not very productive.
I mean, because she was saying there
Yeah.
was 4 categories, and I'm like, no. And she was supposed to look that up and give me that information, and then she started really waking out after that, and I was like, okay, where's oh, I'll look up the information. And then she started going on to this about this elective thing.
Yeah, Chuck, it's not like we weren't disagreeing with things that she was saying when she was looking up. What we were disagreeing was the word elective. Like I think that's what people were missing. We're disagreeing on. She was saying elective means it's just like this means willy-nilly, anyone can choose at any time, and that's not what elective means. She was using it wrong. We were getting into the semantics of it. That's why we're kind of just fighting to fight. I think that, I mean, would you agree, Red?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because like basically there was some other, like basically I made some other claims, and like one of the claims, because I was just trying to grasp where she's at. I'm like, do you care about reducing abortions, or do you, just want to penalize women, right? Like, and I ask, and obviously she wants to reduce abortions. Um, so then I ask her, I'm like, well, there's actually studies that say that abortions have gone up since Roe, and there's like actually reason for that. And then she's like, could you cite your source? I'm like, yeah, I will. But before I cite the source, I want you to make a stance. I'm like, I'll prove it to you, but I want you to make a stance like that that this would like maybe change your mind on things or something like that, right? Because like basically if you're what you're advocating for didn't actually reduce abortions, and I was going to make that claim about the countries with the lowest abortions, she wouldn't let me make any claims, elaborate on it, and she wanted me to back it up, and I'm like if you don't care, like if I look it up and you don't actually care, then like I don't care, you can dismiss the claim, right? Like if you don't care whether it's true or not, right? Then why would I even look it up? Like if you don't care, if you're going to dismiss it after I look it up, and you're just going to dismiss my entire argument, then what's the point?
So like I they get on this argument where it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. How can if abortions are outlawed, how can that increase abortions? Well, I had this argument the other day about vaccines. The whole Bill Gates thing. Bill Gates said on TED Talk that he was going to reduce the population by 10% with vaccines, and I'm like, guys, you don't understand what overpopulation means. Like, the reason people are having babies is because of infant mortality rate, and if we can decrease infant mortality rate, that would decrease the population, because those countries wouldn't be having excessive amounts of babies. And they're like, that doesn't make sense. Okay, let's look at the numbers, but that doesn't make sense to them either. So where do you fucking go with that? Like, they don't get the
I never
numbers.
heard that
They
before.
don't.
That makes a lot of sense. Like I always knew that those countries have more babies, but I didn't know that was why.
Yeah, it's because the infant mortality rate is high. That's
Ah,
That
having a
makes a lot of
baby.
sense, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, that's 100%. So when Bill Gates was on stage talking about reducing the population by 10 to 15% or whatever it was, 10 to 12%, I think he said, he was literally talking about doing it with vaccines, because if we give vaccines to third world countries or underdeveloped countries, they don't have a necessity to have lots of babies because their infant mortality rate is low. Makes perfect fucking sense when you think about it like a scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. You know, there's
Anyway.
actually I was reading the American Journal. It does say not to use the term elective. It says it's the abortion care. The term elective is often used as a moral judgment that determines which patients are entitled to care. Secular healthcare organizations that attempt to avoid controversy by allowing therapeutic but not elective abortions are using medical terminology to reinforce regressive social norms concerning motherhood and women's sexuality, because that distinguishes pregnant women with medical indications for abortion is that they originally wanted to become mothers, or in cases of rape, that they did not consent to schmex. I got to reword this. Secular healthcare organizations should stop denying the moral agency of patients and physicians who conclude abortion is morally acceptable, and should only use the word elective when billing codes require it. Regardless of reason, the proper label for all abortion is healthcare.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
That's the AMA.
And there's a whole history behind this, like about like the term, like why they changed the terms, why they're doing that, and then there is like layman. I'm not trying to like just because if there's a whole group of people using terminology in a different way, like I think it's fine to like recognize that, separate that. But I was doing it for a specific reason, and because it was part of my argument. But like what we were talking, and like we could change definitions if we agree upon them. In my like I wasn't trying to evade that, but there was specific, yeah, and I don't like using it because it doesn't, like you said, it medically necessary abortion is a lot more accurate because
Yeah, I guess moral judgment. Interesting. But obviously, women are going to be needing medically necessary abortions, and I hate it when women like Carly and these other women talk about late term abortions and that women are getting them because it's illegal to have a baby that's viable and unalive it. So I'd like to make that perfectly freaking clear. That's illegal to do that. So, and women are not doing that. So I wish they would stop spreading that misinformation. And when politicians are standing up there and saying that women are having abortions up until birth and after birth, you need not to vote for those type of politicians because they're liars. That's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. My eyes can't roll any farther back in my head when I hear a politician say something like that. It's like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
I mean, come on. And they talk about, like to listen to these lives where they're saying, oh, just stop, keep your legs closed. And I mean, women are getting hit hard right now and it's pissing them off. I mean, it's so dumb. And the stuff that's being, because women they know what's going on. And a lot of women have, won't say it, but a lot of women have had abortions, and they're just not going to say anything to anybody, but they know what goes on.
Yeah.
And done late in term. And if they are later in term or if they're closer to the second trimester, it's because they can't get access. And it's because of these pro-lifers blocking access to get there. That's the only reason that would happen. Not because they didn't make a decision until later, or it's medically necessary because something's wrong with the baby that you can't find, or the fetus, and you don't find out until later. But to tell a woman, oh, you've got to have a baby that's going to unalive right in front of you after it's born, you need to carry that to term, screw you. I'm sorry. I have a problem with that. And a lot of women do. Or that we're not going to provide any help to you, to a young woman. I mean, they're going to take all the social safety nets away and then provide them nothing. No social help, no childcare, nothing. Just, oh, well, you figure it out, but we're going to make you have it.
All right, man. I'm going to crash out, guys.
Okay.
It's about that time.
Yeah, I'm going to add that too. Yeah. The only thing I was going to say, just to what Roxy was saying, is that's why, even the people that argue this topic day in and day out, and there's good people our friends that do it, and I'm not trying to bash everybody, but it seems, because basically what we like to argue typically is just the logistics and how it's not even feasible within the United States. When you look at the legal system and you look at the medical system, there's so many issues. But then they want to argue the philosophy of it, which is fine. I mean, people have different hobbies and stuff like that. But I do think it's disingenuous to ignore just to be arguing it day in and day out, but without ignoring the actual logistics and law and medical community of what actually happens, the way things play out, right?
Right.
I mean,
it's okay, well, I've done that. I've walked into lives and I said, okay, what if you do get your way? What if women don't have the ability to get an abortion and we have to have all these babies here? What are you going to do? What are we going to do then? It kind of trips them out because nobody comes in and says stuff like that to them because they're like that. They go, oh, that would be great. I go, okay, well then, where's the men's responsibility? Okay, where are the men going to pick up? What are they going to do?
Yep.
And then you start asking them about, okay, what about the grapists? Are we going to get all the kids tested? Are they going to go to jail? Are they going to get longer terms in jail? Are they going to be, out of society so they're not a menace to women because women are going to be, more vulnerable now? You ask them, so I write this whole list of questions down and then I'll go into lives and I start asking them things like that and it trips them out because they're not used to those kind of questions.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm gonna like just I'm not really gonna do this like because it would be but like it'd be funny though is basically tell them, okay, let's make life at conception, and then I'm gonna start up an IVF clinic and start shipping my sperm um to like the countries you don't like so that they can get US citizenship. Just start like, okay, it's a life of conception. So like, okay, so I'm an American citizen. I'm gonna send my or I'm gonna start a company that just sends it abroad so that, people from countries that you don't like
Yeah, it's about life,
specifically
right?
get US citizenship before they even come here. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, but like it'd
I
be
know,
funny.
but yeah, let's see how pro-life they are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cruel, but
Yeah.
funny. Oh my God. Hey, we gotta really mess them up. Yeah,
Yeah.
we should hit them
Well,
from both angles.
that's why I don't want to debate like the debate bro type. Like I think she's like a debate bro type person, right? Like basically
Yeah.
where all you have to do is try to be logically consistent in your argument, even if you're like being disingenuous. And that's what a lot of them do, right? Because like they know that logistically, like to win the argument of like be not contradicting yourself, the only way you can be pro-life is like if you give no exceptions and
Hmm.
you do it all the way to the end, right? And like
Right.
pretty much like where you don't give these medically, like it, but like and not giving it for SA or incest or anything, basically all these little situations because they know that it defeats their argument in terms of just being like logically consistent. So then they just start advocating for the most heinous things, which is crazy. And like, hopefully, when you see those lives where they want to criminalize people, like you think, like, hopefully, I think those lives will help like the pro-choice movement more than it will them, right? Like it's gonna make them look bad, and people are gonna be like, hey, like that's probably a little too far.
Oh, those are
Um,
the ones I jump in, especially if they're put on by a woman. I'm like, oh, I'm in on this one. I go, and the first thing I say is, thanks for having this live. I love your topic. It's perfect for for the pro-choice movement.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because most of them don't agree with that. I mean, when you talk about it, a lot of like these pro-life, quote unquote, conservatives, they're not really pro-life. They're just saying it. Like you can tell. Like they don't want to. If they don't want to debate it, then they probably have like a lot of reservation, like in terms of it, right? Like they don't actually believe that.
I took a workout.
Anyway, I got my son here. I'm gonna
Okay, you spend some
call it a
time with
night.
your
Yeah.
family.
All right. Take care. Thanks,
Okay,
bro.
we'll talk to you
Bye.
later. Bye.